Well, I guess it'll be two parts. But it's one of those you'll have out on them big jobs, I guess. Try to figure out where to put you that out of the road, but can see. Oh, well, that's why. There we go. Again, I'm new to this whole video and thing. This video is probably not going to be very long. I apologize. My lunch alarm went off. Got a bad habit. If I don't have an alarm for lunch, I'll just keep right on working and working and working. But I do gotta grab a drink because I'm starting to get hit with cotton mouth. And rather than coffee, we're gonna get a little bit of water. And then I'm gonna pull stuff out of my pocket. Okay, should have done at the get-go. That's like, again, I don't try and talk bad about anybody per se, but yeah, again, I will state, facts. Like, I don't, like, just for example, all the fake flowers up here in the cemetery. Like, I get it so that they look pretty longer, or this or that, or convenience, but, like, why not buy real flowers that mean something, and then whenever they start going bad, the caretakers can put them in a compost pile, rather than putting them in trash bags and sending out to the landfill. There's enough crap that goes out to that landfill. I mean, again, that's, kind of the nature nut in me, I care about nature, but that's like, I can tell I need to go to the chiropractor. I got a knot here, I got a knot up here. And again, that's why I've got the plans to try and do the business stuff the way that I do, so that I can continue to do stuff like this for years. I mean, some things take a bigger toll on me than others. Like twisting and throwing this brush around. I love going to habitat work and stuff, but it's one of those, the longevity of it, doing it by hand isn't feasible for me. And if it was 3 automotive wrecks ago, radios and be just fiddling away with them, or just this, that, and everything. I mean, it can even be something as simple as somebody fiddling around too much with like a CB radio or that. I can remember back in high school, my electrical teacher, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Richard. And he told us a story about one of his students that he rubbed snuff. He dropped his spit bottle and he went to reach it, and by the time he looked up, he was facing a tree. That's one of those, like, that's a couple seconds. Imagine staring at your phone or your radio or this or that for, a whole minute, or when if you need to fiddle around with it that much, just pull over. Man, again, I'm one of the biggest raise hell, praise Dale type of people, go out, root, romp in the mud, or, ride dirt bikes, four-wheelers, race cars, this and that. But it's one of those, like, in the world today, it's just, I don't know how to describe it, but people just need to bring common sense back, and there's a time and a place. Like, I think that motorcycles and stuff after a certain time of day should be left alone on the interstate within reason. Like, say it's 11:30 at night, there's not another soul on the interstate. Who are they hurting? They're just out there trying to enjoy a little bit. If it's rush hour downtown and they're zipping through traffic 100 miles an hour, yeah, pull them over and give them a ticket. But, that's their version of going to the bar and having a couple drinks. Like back in the day, there was in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, there was more street racing than there ever is today, and people didn't get hurt. So is it really, is it the acts or is it the people, like... It's one of those, I'm not afraid to voice my opinion on a lot of things, because I don't go to church, I don't do this, I don't do that, but, I found God out in nature long, long ago as a kid. I can remember being 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, have a trout fishing creel, an ultralight, and a stringer, your little tin of worms, and just be left to go alone up in the mountains, and be back here in 4 hours or whatever. I'd come back with a stringer full of fish. it's like, again, these piles like that, which what makes me think of it is, which again, it made me real mad seeing the post on Facebook the other day, but somebody stole somebody's deer feeder off their, I think it was grandfather's grave. And it's just like, I mean, really? But what I was going to say is, doing this like this, and again, it's doing the same thing like what I do around the farm. It creates habitat for rabbits, and quail, and turkeys, and turtles. Now the sunshine's going to come out and make it real hot. That's like, I'd still be wanting to go fish. I mean, that's like, I could make a little bit of firewood out of stuff like this, but one of those, the way they've already got it cut and everything, like I said, I'll clean up these bigger ones. Be a good day to be out kayaking or wade fishing. Shock when it keeps going from hot to cold with the weather. It's kind of like mowing the yard. It's 90 degrees outside and your mom or girlfriend or whatever keeps the house like an ice box, and you walk in there and it's like cold shock. That's like if I had one of the Can-Am quads that I've been looking at even, it'd handle that trailer great. So it's got like a 2,000 pound load. That's more than that tractor actually. The tractor like again, I still need to get out to the salt shop. Get a new wheel. But I mean, if I could get the funding soon enough, I'd like to go out there and just buy a couple of saws. Or like where I mow and weed eat a lot there around the house, I'd want the backpack for where I keep the roadway clean. It's one of those, ideally what I'd love to have is one of them hydraulic brooms for a tractor or something. Because what I'd love to do is have one of the rear mount, like ditch mowers, or even one of the rear mount brooms with a cab tractor, and one of the front mount, or side mount, whatever, and counterbalance the tractor, set it up specifically for mowing roadways and banks and stuff. Because I've said it for years, I'd love to see West Virginia go to townships like Ohio, and be where farmers and stuff maintain the roadways. Again, me wanting to do the agroforestry stuff that I do, I would already have the equipment and everything to do it. Plus again, I get some road trees, not that they're real great quality or anything. It keeps them out of the ditches, because I could take you out the road and show you where state road just cuts them and rolls them in the ditch. And if it ain't state road, it's the local fire department. But I've went out and cut a couple of them before they got to them and started to clear up off the road, piled them up nice and neat. I mean, they'll literally just roll it in a ditch where there's still limbs hanging in the road. I mean, that's like, I can remember doing, what's it called? I've done too many volunteer things throughout my life. The Adopt a Highway, that's what it's called. Because we've always had the Adopt a Highway out here. They haven't done it in quite a few years, but whenever I go fishing in the creek, which I might do that today, just to do some fishing. But used to do that and pick up trash all along the road. And again, like I was telling the one neighbor there, I'd like to see the neighborhood get back to what it used to be and could be. But we both know that that's far and few between, because most people don't care. Or they care enough to, you know, get the attention about it. That's about the end of it. And that's one of those, you can call me arrogant or whatever for saying that. Again, it's just the truth. Like, people are right? It's just language. It's not degrading. It's just strongly expressing. That's like you can tell somebody you're up a creek without a paddle, or you can tell somebody you're up shit creek without a paddle. I mean, which one gets the point across for it? That's like, again, I enjoy doing stuff like this, because again, it's one of those, I get to give the medical system and the doctors and stuff a big middle finger. Again, 3 years ago, they told me to look into disability and something where I can sit inside. Like, take this however you want, but I'd rather die than sit inside all my life. Oh, that puppy's in there. That's like I'm sure you guys are seeing while you're seeing definitely real time. I don't get how you can come down and cut it up and not, I mean, I appreciate that the lady thought about me on the firewood, but I don't get the, that'd be like somebody asking me to mow their yard, and I show up, I weed eat, and leave. Neighborhood minimum. Sorry, guys. Trying to get things cleaned up for you. I don't know who you are other than Merritt. I don't think they put Ken Merritt up here. I looked at him on my four-wheeler and said, do I look like one of the alcoholic, druggy degenerates out here? Like, I'm going out to catch this thing to work. Leave me alone. Every day I would ride my four-wheeler out to catch this farm, and that's what I did. This. I cleared a lot, like that whole bank around the barn and the pond and everything. I'm the one that cleaned that back up from woods and brush and got it where they could mow it. Like the wellhead there at deep, the gas well there at the creek. And again, it was one of those, he didn't want to get rid of me when he had to, but he was bad in health and throw them in the bucket for now. Because putting the wood on the trailer, I'll need some nose weight. Better than what it was. That's why I'm fancy kid space cannons. Back to that, you gotta have fun in life. I wish you guys could have heard that. It sounded like everything in my frickin' back went ha-da-da-da-da. And I'm not exaggerating a single bit. Like, oh, it felt so good and bad at the same time. And again, I love what I do, but whenever my back's got a knot in it, it's got a knot in it. Things like that right there, and I didn't have to yoink, 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 yoink. I just pick it up. I mean, ideally I need to get the new model because the chain tensioner bar lugs on this one's wearing out. I need to see if I can send it to DeWalt and have them rebuild it. And if so, I want to have that one rebuilt and get one of the new models. But I tell you one thing I hate about the new model already. They went from the simple flip cap to the screw cap. Anybody that hates those flip caps, again, they're lazy. It takes 2 seconds to take a rag, wipe off your fuel cap, bar oil cap, blow the dirt off, or, show a little bit of care for your $1,000, $2,000 chainsaw. Like, they aren't cheap. Like, I've seen pictures of people's saws that are sad, the condition that people will treat their souls. Because I caught mine on New Year's sale when I got it. And I mean, again, yeah, it's the first saw that I ever bought in this and that, but still, it's one of those, like, I could have went and bought 3 or 4 of those Husqvarna, or not Husqvarna. I mean, yeah, you could still buy 2 or 3 Husqvarnas for the price of a still. You wouldn't have the saw. But the ones I was gonna say was those Husqvarna, you know, the Chinese clone ones, which from what I've heard are great. I was surprised if you're gonna buy something, you're better to buy it once, try it once, and have the quality rather than, you know, if you got the money to buy 5 of them, you got the money to buy one good one. Which I'm not saying those Husqvarnas are bad. It's just, I mean, there's obviously a reason they're made in China. Now what was that? Oh yeah, there's a couple things up there. That's a nice cedar tree, but where it's at, not a very prominent. Makes it rough to power, but ideally what needs to happen is the rest of them logs need cleaned up out of there instead of just leaving them. And that's like I lied. I'm gonna knock off a bunch of these smaller ones. I mean, again, I've got that screaming eagle. all the electric battery sold better than the gas, but oh, one of those like. Oh, come on first. See, like that one, I'll cut that off with the big stuff. Like that one. Again, for like these wee little hobnobs and crap, that's nice. I need to start keeping it around the wood splitter again. Which, I mean, again, I try not to do a whole bunch of pine. But I do mix pine in, because again, it's back to that. If not, it's just wasting good wood. Okay, it's one of those, again, I've been working on educating people on, that's more or less, you just got to mix it with other stuff and make sure it's dry. Other than that, you're good to go. Alrighty, I think that gets all the boring little battery saw stuff out of the road. Like I said, that way it keeps the big noisy saw to a minimum. Okay, again, I know it's loud, obnoxious, but it's one of those, again, I haven't had the ability or that to go get a pork job done. So I've been just working with what I can for now. Oh, duh. Gotta take the safety strap off. You can tell I ain't been cutting off the trailer for a while. Alright, make sure we got the fuel bar on. Blade, you're not using any string. And for those of you that don't know, a piggy is just an old bottle that you convert to hold bar oil. You put a little rope on it and a carabiner, and you can clip it on your belt loop, suspenders, or pretty well anything or anywhere. And like I said, this here will be the last little bit of stuff that we got to do here. And it'll be going back down to the house, and I don't know what for the rest of the day. Don't have a primer bulb, so I do that. That's like, I mean, like I said, I know you guys like hearing the plate, but not everybody else does. I mean, again, it don't bother me because I wear headphones while running it anyway. So, I mean, it's one of those, like... to take that thing and get it ported. Getting that thing ported would take it from the 59cc to 60cc. Taking me longer than what I figured it would, but and again, I'll still have to come down and clean up all this ugly crap and stuff with the the rake. And I'll probably just unhook the trailer, come back down with the tractor, the rake, and the leaf blower. I'll use the tractor and put all this stuff in the bucket and dump it over there rather than trying to rake it up and carry it over there by hand. Again, one of those, use your brain instead of blunt force, but I'm also severely hard-headed, and I tend to do things the hard way until I learn. That's like I really want to convert that trailer over to a panel style hitch, especially if I can get one of those Mahindra rock saws, because I've already got the panel hitch, and I just have to get the trailer side or the tongue hitch. Which I know typically they have some slop to them, but I'll take the slop to have more off-road capability, because that's more what this trailer is for. And I'm really thinking try and get one of those rock saws and rework this trailer to be able to haul a cord of wood. I mean, it wouldn't be flawless and it wouldn't be, you know, biscuits and gravy, but it'd at least get me mobile and able to deliver wood. And again, the main thing I'm trying to get right now is mostly smoke wood, cook wood clients and campgrounds. Which, I mean, ideally campgrounds I need to get a big truck and a bigger trailer for, because they're going to want bulk. Which, I mean, ideally, what I could do is rework that trailer and try and get this single axle Peterbilt that I've been looking at, and get that 8.5 by 20 foot trailer. Because that 8.5 by 20 foot trailer will hold like 4.5 or 5 cords. And then if I've got that trailer set up to hold a full cord, be ideal, but it'd be something to get started. Again, I'm really thinking that rock saw, because I could go places that I wouldn't want to take a 9.5 ton truck, and a 3/4 ton truck, I could go idea is get into doing some trapping, and I can use some of those pelts for tying jigs and stuff too. That's for any of you watching out there, lift with your knees, not your back. Trust me, if I do a lot of lifting with my back, I know it. I might have to double stack a couple. I don't know why I'm playing a hard game. That's like, I forget who it was I originally seen using one of these in their videos, but I love this thing. Whenever I can get it to stick. And then sometimes it sticks too good. I've already stuck myself with it once a little bit. Nothing major, but I was trying to flip one over one day and it come loose on me and stuck me right underneath it. clean up some of the less of the bucket. Again, where they're not cut exact, they're stacked in front. Man, it's honestly some good looking pine. I'd like the one neighbor said, I don't want to give out names or anything, but like he said, there'd be a saw log or two that was in that. I mean, not that I don't really care for pine as saw logs, cause, and again, I'm kind of opinionated on that. The only thing pine's good for is a wood stove. And that's why everything, everybody's always rebuilding stuff nowadays it's all made out of pine. Pine ain't made to last. What's made to last was the American chestnut, like hickory, red oak, white oak, mahogany, shoot, I don't know. There's too many of them to remember in name. But you know, all the old furniture was cabinet wood. I might be able to get all of it. Still gonna have to double stack. That's like, yeah, I made more mowing and weed eating for Danny. And again, I keep telling him to come get me whenever he comes down to do it, and I'll help. He doesn't stop and get me. I definitely need to get some heavier tires. I mean, these ones are supposed to be rated for combined like 3,000 pounds. Or close. Which, I mean, again, I don't really want the trailer, you know. I don't agree with it the only time, which is when it's off the road, that it's loaded heavy. Whenever the wood's dry and everything, it's like 1,500 pounds. So, I mean, it's one of those, like, dry wood's not that heavy. It's the wet wood. That's like first thing I'll be doing whenever I get back to the house is going up and having some lunch. I don't even know what time it is, but I know it's past lunch. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to strap these to one way that I don't like to. I mean, it works, but and again, it's one of those, I ain't going very far down the road. It's not that. Again, I try and lead by example around the neighborhood. One more. Well, actually, two more. Okay, I gotta strap the front bucket. Which again, Harbor Freight, and I like them because they're orange too. I mean, it's not just that they're orange, but it's the fact that they're easy to see, and again, it's kind of like a, hey, I'm here. And just that little bit much more of, you know, they can't have excuses if I'm on the road. So, I mean, it's kind of like, you get to see the bright orange strap. if I've really said it on here or not, but this trailer's made out of the old service truck rack that was on that truck that I've been trying to actually fix and use for my agroforestry trucks and stuff. One of these days, maybe. Or again, I'll buy another truck. Not ready. Been waiting on the title to be ready. Alrighty. Put this. Woo, them dogs are sharp. Woo. Probably should have dropped the trailer height before trying to pack up. I need to add a keeper on the edge of that. That's like, I mean, again, I'm trying to get a bunch of the neighborhood stuff cleaned up and this and that. That's like, I'm sure Junior's seen where I've been cleaning up around the property where he goes up and sees John. I don't know what they talk about or this or that or anything like that. I mean, that's not my business, but. Oh. Alright guys, I'm probably going to get a little shaky here. Okay, I'm going to try and fold up this tripod here while talking to you for a minute. Again, sorry for the poor video quality. I mean, not that the phone does bad job videoing, it's me. Which, I mean, again, I'm new to a lot of this stuff, but one of these days I'll get it figured out and everything in a better setup. But we got her all cleaned up for now. I mean, like I said, there still needs to be that stuff taken care of, but and then I'll need to come down and rake all this stuff up and get it piled over there, but we got it all cleaned up, what was worth taking anyway, and some of this was questionable, but nothing else. I'll split it up and use it for right there around the house for campfire wood or whatever. But as always, you know, get out, get active, get healthy, help your neighbors. Let's make some community instead of society. If I had enough time, I'd walk you guys over and show your grandpa's grave, but maybe another day when I'm down here doing some work or something. But again, get out, enjoy this beautiful weather that we got while we got it. Especially if you're around West Virginia, Mid-Ohio Valley area. It's supposed to be pretty crappy the next few days. But later, guys. Have a good one.